tell me about what kind of folks your parents were. Tell me about, first of all, tell me about your mother.
Well, we thought she was the prettiest lady in the world. Her wedding picture, she had an 18-inch waist, and she was cute, and she was 5'2". My dad was 6 feet tall. We thought he was the tallest, handsomest man in the world. I was definitely a daddy's girl, and all of us had a very, very happy childhood.
How did the two of them meet?
She was in Danville, Virginia, and had poor health. She gave them a vaccination for diphtheria. Hers became infected, and she had a scar this big. And further, she was just in poor health. And they thought they took her to West Virginia in the mountains, and her health would improve. So she went up there with a cousin. And Daddy was one of the dashing young bachelors of White Sulphur. He had a farm, and he bred horses, and he did lumber, and he had an orchard and all this thing. So he had a lovely farm.
This was in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia,
yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
He lived, the farm, of course, was out of the town. And he was a very popular bachelor, and she was a cute little 18-year-old girl. And they met there at the Greenbrier. Now, I don't know how many years it was before they married. It was not when she was 18, but that's when they met.
And how was it that he, as a black man, was able to acquire this land and this business and all the rest of it?
Well, he had four brothers, and this farm had been left them by their father, and all the boys, and there were 3 girls. They all left the farm, and Daddy maintained the farm. And I recall very well when he sold the farm. That was the year we came down to live in town so we could go to school. And when he sold the farm, the boys said, "Well, Josh, you've taken care of it all these years," and they would not take any money.
Wow, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So your father came from a very close-knit family, obviously. He was very close to his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And did he ever talk about what it was like for him growing up in that area?
Just the fact that they interacted well with the whites that were around. They had no problem. Daddy said that the whites worked on his farm, and he worked, and everybody did everything together. And there was really no feeling of discrimination until he moved into town, and then the kids started going to school. And farmers are a different breed. And I guess that's where the differences came, because it always irked me that they called my daddy Josh or Uncle Josh. And so I called my white friend's father Charles, and it would upset him so much. But I said, well, he calls my daddy by his first name.
So the whites would not call him by his last name.
But they gave him utmost respect, and his children. And their daddy would tell us, now you are as good as anybody in this town, but you know better. And I remember that, and I usually use that expression whenever I make a talk to kids. You've got to learn this early, that you are as good as anybody else, but you know better than any of these people. So conduct yourselves accordingly. And I try to get mine brought up that same way.